All right, everyone, welcome to the call. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this amazing Monday. This is a pretty special call and one that we've never done before, a guest that we've never had before. And I was so stoked when I got a message from him last week saying, hey, I want to work with more of the network. I want to help coaches out, and I would love to do your team call sometime. And you don't miss out on an opportunity like that. So I immediately said, when are you available? Here's when we do our team calls, although I would have changed it if we had to. And here we are. We get to have all of our questions asked. I asked you guys, or my personally sponsored, because I knew if I asked the entire team, we would have a bazillion questions. And we took the top 11 questions that you guys receive from your customers, that you have yourselves. And he is going to go through these for you guys tonight. So make sure right now that you have something in front of you that you can take notes. Obviously, we'll have the recording for this call, but it's going to be easier for you guys to access with notes and learning how he would respond to price objections, how he would describe Shakeology, because he and Isabel Deichler co-founded or co-created Shakeology, and there's no one better to learn about this product than him. So I'm really excited to welcome to our team call the one, the only Darin Olien. Darin, if you'll jump on, I will pump off and you can take it from there.
Hey, does that work? Okay, I'm assuming so. Okay, I see this is a whole new technology for me. So, hey, thank you so much, Lindsay. This is very cool to jump out of the jungle and into this one, and with all of you guys. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be a part of this whole kind of surge, if you will, of what Beachbody is up to. So so let's cruise through this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through as many questions as possible. I wrote down some notes so I could kind of keep my ADD brain on track. So I may look down and make sure I'm hitting all the things that I want to hit, because that's important to you guys. And I'm excited to be here in the most powerful way possible. So and then at the end I can maybe highlight some of my book stuff, which is also exciting. So just looking at some of the notes here. Anyway, so let's hit it. And Lindsay, if you have anything you want to shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'll there you are. I'll make sure that you can keep me on track too. So safe for pregnancy and or nursing mothers. Great question. This is obviously what I have to say is legally consult your doctor, your healthcare practitioner before you ingest anything, really. And I think the biggest thing is as a nursing mother or pregnant woman, I would question everything that you're putting into your body, and it's so incredibly important for the child and for you. And the challenge I always put up to pregnant women and nursing moms is don't ever lose that, because you're as precious as your baby. So anyway, the answer to that is that it's an individual thing, and there's been many women throughout the years now that have absolutely loved and thrived on Shakeology. And there may be, I don't know of any off the top of my head, there may be women that this doesn't work for. As you know, women, there is many different types of cravings that you would go through during this stuff, and also could be allergic reactions to things that your body just doesn't want at that time. So it's a very sensitive time, but I would say in general that some of the greatest superfoods from around the world, I would definitely, if I were pregnant, I would definitely make sure I was drinking Shakeology. So that's my That's my answer for numero uno. Um, oh, safe for kids. Yeah. Oh man, I'll tell you a story. And when I was developing Shakeology, I was kind of in my own little cocoon, and it's relevant to this question, so I'm going to get to it. I was in my cocoon making it, going to the lab, doing research, playing with the ingredients, going back to the lab. It was a very long, at least a year and a half process of formulation. And cut to the story is that I had a unmarked container of Shakeology in my house at the time, and my goddaughter, who was maybe she was visiting me from Colorado. She was maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, maybe a little older than that. Maybe it was, yeah, I think, man, she was 18. I think she was closer to 10. Um, and so she came, she was in my kitchen. It was breakfast and they were staying with me. And I said, Raven, can I make you a shake? She goes, yeah. I said, okay, it's chocolate. Do you like chocolate? Yeah. So I made up a Shakeology unbeknownst to her, and she had it, and she said to me, quote unquote, Uncle Darin, could you make this for me every day? Because I hate what they feed us at school. So the unedited child who knows nothing other than the experience of the moment, she gave me the biggest gift, because at that point I realized I'm pretty much done with the formula, at least from a taste and perspective. So anyway, that's the story. Is Shakeology safe for kids? The other thing I would say to that is, yes, in theory, of course, kids have their own sensitivities, as anyone can. But maybe if you're questioning, or you're not sure, or they're super young, then try a quarter, try a half. Don't give them the full dose, and just let them sip on it and let their instincts take over, and observe your child, and start there. So anyway, I think that's as deep down that rabbit hole as I can answer that. But be aware, it's your child. Listen to you, listen to your instincts, and also consult your healthcare provider. Um, this is funny. It's like having a conversation with myself and I'm getting no feedback. It's kind of like, if you like that, it's kind of insanely narcissistic in some weird sort of way. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. Anyway, safe for those with celiac disease. Is it or is it not gluten-free? Good question. Gluten-free is something we're looking into. Obviously, the level of ingredients that we have in here, it's a very, very challenging and difficult thing to observe every level of that. So it's not that we're not following those safeties, assurances, and everything. It's following it from an organizational standpoint of someone else's organization. So it gets very difficult. Technically speaking, we don't have any gluten in our product, right? So that's true. However, legally speaking, because we don't want to put anyone in a situation that's compromising them, that we have oat protein in there, and technically oats don't have gluten, but it can get contaminated with other grains or whatnot, just from the sheer manufacturing in the same vicinity. So legally, even if a grain is in the same 20,000 square feet of another substance they're manufacturing, legally you have to say it's being manufactured in a place that has gluten, or you can't say that it's gluten-free. So anyway, that's that answer. I hope that's okay. But also to that, we've had several people with celiac disease thanking us because it's the one thing that they can take. But the celiac disease is a very interesting one because once the gluten has kind of disrupted the digestive lining, which then allows for food and bacteria to penetrate into the bloodstream, um, that's a challenging thing. So once you have quote unquote celiac disease, you now are susceptible to other digestive disorders. So you're very sensitive to a lot of things. So long story short, you have to use your own awareness, and it can work for some, and it may not work for others. So if you're willing to try, then take it very, very slow, and don't drink a bunch of it, and just see how you feel. And use your instrument, use your intuition, your instrument being your body, and get feedback from your doctor. That's what I would say about that. But we've had several people that have had great results on it. Oh, and also the certified organic thing. Let me give you a glimpse into that. From my perspective, I've spent a lot of time with indigenous farmers in a lot of countries around this world. And often when you put on restrictions, even though they could be good from one perspective, it often falls in the farmer. So let me describe that as another way. If a farmer is growing, let's use sashenchi or something. If a farmer is growing sashenchi, right, and they are practicing everything that a organic farmer practices, right? There's no pesticides, no herbicides, no GMOs. It's in virgin soil. They've been doing it for centuries. Nothing has changed other than the development of a great plant. That works really well. Now, when you say, hey, could you organic certify this for us? That expense, that extra labor, that extra time goes on the farmer. And often in those areas, in the Amazon, in high parts of Peru, and other places around the world, that expense is extremely high for them and extremely difficult. So now listen to me, it doesn't change in some cases, not all cases. Some cases, this is very good to get certified organic from a superfood ingredient. So I'm not saying it's bad at all. In some cases, it drives up the price, and doesn't change the quality at all. So I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, I can maybe do a longer podcast or a video or something like that I probably will at some point, just a deeper dive into the world of superfood hunting and sourcing and all of that stuff, probably like on superlife.com at some point. But I hope that's a little more clear. But Lindsay will let me know if she's confused. At least I'll get feedback from her. Okay, so any medications? Let me just make sure that I hit all those points. Any medications that we should worry about reacting to Shakeology? Let me figure out how to answer that. I would say that all medications you should be aware of, and you should question once you start drinking Shakeology and or you start eating better and taking care of yourself. So why do I say that? When you take in plant medicines, and probably the legal team doesn't want me using that, but when you take in the active components that are in these superfoods, is certainly the ones that reside in Shakeology, they are designed, they're collaborative with us. They're alchemical to us. They support us. They help assist the body in this life. They help assist, from the endocrine system to cholesterol to energy to restoration, repair, performance, you name it. So when you take in certainly superfoods that are on the higher realm of the nutrient contribution, right? A superfood being a high nutrient value, giving a high nutrient dividend for your body. That can then allow your body to heal itself, right? To let your body start steering its way, its direction to optimal health. If you're taking medications for diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, mood, depression, and many others, I would seriously make sure that you're in a line and letting your doctor know and be forewarned that you probably will lessen the medications over time. Now, with that, as you start feeling better and you start using something like Shakeology, start helping your body in many other ways. And a lot of that is covered in my book, which we'll get to at the end, of these 5 life force principles that kind of govern your body to make it happy, healthy, and rockin', as they say. But so you really need to be aware of the medications you're starting, what are the dosages, and be ready for your body feeling better and regulating itself. So that may happen. So any medications that you should worry about reacting to Shakeology? Yeah, you should worry, not necessarily reacting to, but reacting with your body so that your body may not want those medications anymore, because the medications will never get you optimally healthy, ever. Medications are never there to get healthy. They're just there to satisfy a certain result of the body not being in balance. So medications can never really get you to the place of optimal. There's always places for medication, but we need to have them not be the end all be all for our health, and always work on that balance first. So I should probably move on because I'm going to keep going with that, but hopefully that was helpful. Okay. So the Canada labels. The Canada labels, it says that we should consult a doctor before drinking Shakeology if you're drinking it for more than 3 months. Why is this? This is a very simple answer. This has nothing to do with Shakeology. This has to do with Canadians' regulatory system of their dietary food and supplements, right? So it's like the Canadians FDA. So if the Canadian FDA says, I don't care who you are, if you're a supplement, you have to put this on the package. That's it, plain and simple. It's not specific to Shakeology, okay? So that one's pretty simple, but it's a great question because obviously, and this is going to happen more as we expand into other countries and things like that. They're going to have their own regulations, and some of which are good and some are weird and challenging, and they accept some superfoods and not others, and it's a whole deal. But it's a good win that we got to Canada for sure. Okay, so is it safe to have multiple servings of Shakeology a day? Absolutely. If you are always replacing a meal, and replacing multiple meals, 3 meals, and doing that over months and months and months, not a good idea, right? Um, Make sure that Shakeology is balanced with your normal life. But absolutely, I've drank it sometimes, certainly traveling. I've drank it 3 times a day and twice a day on consistently because I haven't been able to eat any food, or I'll double up on dosage. I'll have, I wake up usually between 3 and 4 in the morning and have a dose, a whole smoothie, and have another one after my workout. And it's a typical day for me. So I'm always having multiple servings of Shakeology on just a normal way of being. So yeah, it's absolutely safe unless you have specific things that you're reacting to, obviously, then that's a specific issue to you. Okay. Hope everyone's having a good time. Let me just see if there's any. Good. I drink it twice lately. Thanks, Nicole. That's funny. What is the ORAC value? I don't believe we ever tested the ORAC value. It could have been a few years ago. ORAC value is as it says here, it's a type. It's not the only type of measuring antioxidant capacity. So obviously there's many ingredients, from the strawberries to the camu to the moringa to the, everything in between. There's many high antioxidant foods in Shakeology. So, and all of those are super high in ORAC values. So we don't currently, I don't think, unless the R&D team, let me just check for a second, because I shot them a note. Yeah, no, I haven't gotten anything. So unless they did it without me knowing, which would be cool. It's just something we haven't tested. We just know the values of the food that we're putting in there, the superfoods, and often that alchemical produces a whole nother result. Obviously, we've tested for many other things, but we haven't tested for that particular antioxidant capacity. We have for others, but it's just not as well publicly known in terms of those testing. ORAC is usually the thing that people always go to. So we'll follow up on that. And if I find out values that we've tested, then I for sure will send them along. Okay. So questions about customers who start on Shakeology and experience constipation. Yeah, this is the opposite effect. Can you explain why this is, how long it typically lasts, and how we should communicate that to them? This is something where it seems as though I don't need my notes. I'm just kind of riffing. Seems as though that can happen based on, there's so many factors that this can happen from, because it all really comes down to where someone is starting. Have they been hydrated? Have they been drinking water? Have they had bad habits? Have they been eating a lot of processed foods? Have they been skipping meals? Are they stressed? Have they had medications of any kind? Have they not been sleeping? Have they had antibiotics at any point in their life? All of this can contribute to digestive issues that are not correct. But the body is amazing because it do everything it can to keep you moving forward to the best of its ability. And sometimes we get used to these kind of annoyances and we just think, wow, that's just who I am. So how this can happen with constipation is that when those foods enter you, right? When you drink something like Shakeology and it's got prebiotics, which are essentially food for your probiotics. So we give food for the probiotics that we're also putting in Shakeology. We're giving you enzymes. We're giving you hundreds and hundreds of strong plant phytochemicals that are going to support everything from healing your digestion to increasing energy to weight loss to cholesterol, all these things. Everything's activated. So if you're in a state where you're not ideal, and then you start drinking something like Shakeology, it can take a while for your body to kind of reseed itself. Seed, when I say seed, I mean seed the right bacteria, create the right environment for things to work in a regulatory function, okay? Every system in the body is designed in a regulatory function. Often you don't even know if it's not in the first stages of any problem in your body, because your body's so amazing at just keeping your eye, opening your eyes. And if you're feeling a little lethargic, you go for the coffee and you get stimulated and you don't even realize that your body's off, right? So back to this question without going off too much on that. This can happen through the rebalancing, the changing of your environment that you were in to what you are possibly initiating with Shakeology. That's typically what I have seen in people. And of course, consult your doctor. If you're constipated and it keeps up and all these things, then don't be silly. Make sure you get checked out and listen to yourself. Okay. So always the number one thing is listen to yourself. Don't take my word for it. Listen to yourself, check in yourself, and if that truth resonates with you, then that's truth for you. Any plans for vegan Shakeology? Oh yeah, I wish it was out right now. I'd probably have it for a snack after dinner. Yes, there's plans. They're not concrete right now. We are working on some expansions and some things within product ingredient lines and capacities and volumes, and working directly with farmers. So we're doing a lot to help ourselves expand into the growth that's been happening. So a lot of our resources and time, and this has been a dream of mine to get really, really, really deep into all of this stuff. So that's my excuse I'm giving to you right now, but I promise you I want it. And it is on people's minds. We haven't gone into official reformulation of vegan vanilla. Okay. Hope everyone's having fun. Darin, if you were selling Shakeology and someone's objection was cost, what would be your rebuttal? Let me see what I wrote for that, because I didn't want to miss something. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with that stuff is you're asking someone, and this may help you too. You're asking someone that's never skimped on his food. Yeah, I ate weird as a kid. When I say weird, I ate regular as a kid growing up in Minnesota, as a regular dude. But as I became aware in my 20s and college, and really when I started paying for my own food, there was something about, even if it wasn't even that good, but I didn't know it was not good for me, I wouldn't skimp on food. I would never skimp on food. Why would I put anything that is not optimal in this amazing body? That's my fundamental point of view. And people just hang out in a parking lot of a regular grocery store, and that isn't everyone's point of view. And it's sad to me, because they're sitting at the opportunity of changing their entire life. If you're used to looking through foggy glasses, that's your view. If you're used to feeling a certain way and eating a certain way, you only can do what you can do with the fuel that you're giving yourself. So, so back to that is I never skimp on my nutrition. So that's kind of my theos coming forward. And if anyone argues with me about, it's too expensive, it doesn't resonate with me as to the worth of not paying for the nutrition that your body deserves just by being here, just by being on this planet. Because I say one thing: you pay the farmer or you're going to pay the doctor, right? So you're paying for the nutrition or you're eventually going to pay the doctor. So how do you want to invest in yourself? Shakeology in particular, I personally have spent years and hundreds of thousands of miles under my ass, cruising around the planet, finding, scouring, discovering, rediscovering people, places, things, and superfoods that can matter. That's why that I wouldn't be here if there wasn't a company supporting what I believed in and wasn't following the steps that match that. So I have been behind the scenes, essentially, very deep into supply chain, working with farmers, working with people of countries of origin, virtually understanding and seeing and discovering who and where most superfoods that are sold in the US, of course, are coming from. I virtually can look at almost from any company. I've had several superfood companies over the years want to have me be a part of their company just because the resource that I have and the connections that I have seen behind the veil. I can honestly tell you, most people do not even come close to the ability, number one, the quality assurance protocols, the time, the resources, their own eyeballs, their own teams going into those places of origin, working directly with those people in order for that material, that superfood, to be and validated to be exactly what it's supposed to be. That is a whole level of you expect that to be there, but there is no watchdog for that. There is none. It's Wild West. All those supplement companies out there, I don't want to say all, many, are putting next to nothing, if at all, the ingredient that they say is there, or it's cut with something, or it's not the potency it should be, or it's not the quality, or it may have pesticides or herbicides or heavy metals, and they're not testing for it, and they don't know, or they don't have the resources to do it, or they don't spend the time to do it, or they don't send the people in countries of origin to go find out. There is so much that we are doing at Beachbody to assure that you're getting exactly what's in that bag that you're supposed to be getting. And all I can tell you is that's true. That's the reality. Unfortunately, it's not as sexy because people can put a nice label on their supplement. They can call almost any manufacturer, say, hey, I want a protein blend and I want a good smoothie. I want something. Hey, someone could call right now to a manufacturer and say, hey, I want something like Shakeology. Make me something. They don't know where it's coming from. It's just coming from the brokers that the manufacturer uses, and they don't know where their material really is from. And most people do it kind of naively. They just expect it's supposed to be there, but unfortunately it's not. So anyway, there's a lot to say there. Hopefully you can gather some of those nuggets, but it's something I really want to talk more about, and I think is a big part of kind of sharing the difference of Beachbody, because I strongly, strongly believe in that, and what we're doing there. Okay. So if someone asked you, what exactly is Shakeology, how would you respond? I came up with a couple quotes that just came to my head this afternoon. So I'm gonna share. Okay. I'm gonna share a couple with you that just popped in my head. So if someone said, what exactly is Shakeology? I would say, number one, it's a supplement that contains some of the greatest nutrient-dense foods in the world, carefully formulated to give your body life-enhancing potential for a healthier mind, body, and a stronger performing life. That's pretty good, actually. I didn't even read that until now. So let me say that again, so you guys can maybe write it down or use something of it and make up your own. It's a supplement that contains some of the greatest nutrient-dense superfoods in the world, carefully formulated to give your body life-enhancing potential for a healthier mind, body, and stronger performing life. Okay? That's my first one. And the other one is, yeah, I didn't even read this one either. Okay, bear with me. It's an alchemical blend of superfood and super nutrition designed to deliver health-giving, life-benefiting nutrients for optimal health. Okay, so I'll read that again. An alchemical blend of superfood and super nutrition designed to deliver health-giving, life-benefiting nutrients for optimal health. Alchemical is basically the idea and the performing of nutrients. When you're coming together, they perform better than if they were left on their own. That's alchemical chemical reaction. When you bring in, say, a camu, and it interacts with, just off the top, well, here, I'll think of a better one, turmeric, for example. And there's studies on this, so you can go find it online. So again, don't take it from me. The alchemical blend of, say, turmeric with pepper allows for the uptake of the benefiting compounds of the turmeric by at least 10 times, just by the alchemical blend of pepper with turmeric. That's an example of alchemical reaction, okay? And Shakeology is that. It is greater than the sum of its individual parts. That alchemical influence that all of those superfoods have makes this entity, this amazing delivery system called Shakeology. Okay? So there's that. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Oh, my book. Yeah. So, I hope that was good, Lindsay. I hope we got through all those. Okay. So Super Life, the 5 forces that will make you healthy, fit, and eternally awesome, is coming out tomorrow. Okay. So the book is 20 years of living this way, traveling this way, finding my way, education, research, and delivered in a way that my greatest hope is to make all this very confusing nutrition stuff very simple. And I kind of labeled 5 forces, and there's a secret actual 6th force in there that I know all of you will greatly appreciate. That describes how the body works through these forces, right? From the alkalinization to oxygenation to alkalinization to hydration to detoxification. Those 5 life force principles are very complicated and yet very simple. And when you understand the intimate reactions of the body, and believe me, Super Life is not super technical at all. It was very conversational. Hopefully you'll hear my voice in it, because that was the goal, to let it be more of a conversation. But it's a guide to, hey, if you undercut one, you undercut them all. If you're living your life in a way and eating foods and doing things that are undercutting your oxygen potential or your alkalinity, and I explain all of that stuff in pretty good layman's terms in there, then you undercut it all. And my whole thing is that if you support your body optimally, that everything else kind of works itself out. If you lead with health first, then you get the ideal weight and you get the energy, and then you get the body that you wanted, and you feel good. You want to help others, all of that stuff, but you can't skip steps. You can't skip things. And there's a chapter in the book that I call the Big Fix Syndrome. Health happens through the subtle choices added up over a long period of time, getting and gaining great benefit. Okay? If you undercut yourself on a day-to-day thing, if you don't drink enough water, if you kind of eat, waffles instead of your Shakeology, if you don't quite get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night and kind of getting 5 for the next month or year, all of those things are undercutting your health. So what I describe in the book is hopefully I'm not saying hopefully, very powerful things that you can understand, take the power back for you so that you can have a greater super life for you, whatever that is for you, and use this instrument so that you can not have to worry about it, so that you can respond to your kids by playing with them and running up a mountain when you want to, or surfing if you want to, or shoveling your driveway, because I remember those days from Minnesota. So sorry, all of you who are going through the winter. I woke up and left. So anyway, that's a little nugget on Super Life. I really would love it if you would order it, share it, gift it, because this is not about selling for me, my book. This is about sharing something that's been within me for so long. You guys are one of the first few that I've been able to kind of open up. The book was something for me that I realized I need to step out more, not always hide in the jungle. Not that I'm hiding, and give over what I need to you. So that's Super Life. It's available tomorrow. Order it, review it. Go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, go to superlife.com. You can click on the book and you can order it through there. Sign up for my newsletter at my new website, superlife.com. And I'm getting into more stuff. So I think that kind of wraps me up.
Darin, can you hear me okay?
Lindsay, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. I just wanted to, on behalf of the entire team, I have seen this news feed of comments just blowing up and just saying how amazing this call has been. So just thank you so much. You maxed out the call. There was 500 people on, and many who will be listening to the recording. So we really appreciate it. And I know there's a ton more questions, so we'll have to have you back on sometime. But I know tomorrow's a big day for you. And I myself am going to go purchase the book. I'm going to put it on pre-order on Amazon right now and make sure that I have it in hand, because I think you made all of us want to go right to our kitchens and make a Shakeology. Because we now realize how incredible it truly is. I've always known that, but just hearing it from your words on honestly puts it into perspective. And we're all so grateful, for the time and the passion that you put into creating the product.
in the first place, and the fact that we get to gift it to other people every single day. So thank you so much.